I've never really believed in God or Christmas the way most people do. Yet there are a couple of Christmas songs that have always stayed with me since I was a very young child. Not because of belief per se, but because of recognition. One of them is Mary Did You Know? I've personally never really heard that song as religious. I've always heard it as human, like someone looking at an infant and quietly wondering what life is about to ask of them, what it will require, what it will shape, what it will slowly cover over, just so they can survive. I've always had this knowing that when you kiss a baby's face, you're kissing the face of God. And also, you're kissing the place where God will one day be buried. And I don't mean that as a tragedy. I don't mean that as a fall or a mistake. I mean it as incarnation. Presence arrives as innocence, and then innocence gets layered over by story, identity, survival, expectation, domestication, indoctrination. Not destroyed, just covered. It's always both. The face of God and the beginning of forgetting. Another song that's lived in my body for a long time is Breath of Heaven. Again, not because of religion, but because of what it names. I have traveled many moonlit nights, cold and weary with a babe inside. That line has always felt like recognition to me, even as a young child. And then I became a mother. And pregnancy, at least for me, was one of the clearest places I've ever felt something higher. Not outside of me, inside of me, and all around me. I've always had this faith in something greater. I just never called it God. For me, it was the stars. The night sky always felt like intelligence, speaking to me, holding me, giving me something to believe in, something bigger than me. Like witness, like something vast that didn't require thoughts, only presence, as is. When I was pregnant, that feeling intensified, like life itself was moving through me. Like whatever creates things was breathing from the inside out. And at the same time, I've never felt more alone, held by something immense and utterly solitary in my body, carrying something holy, without a map for what comes next. Chosen, maybe, and yet still alone. That paradox stays with me. We arrive as presence. We arrive as immediacy, before language, before armor, before identity. And then, because this is a human world, we have to become someone. We learn to adapt, to protect, to perform, to survive, to please. Not because anything went wrong, but because this is the cost of formation. So when I hear those songs, I don't hear a savior story. I hear a story about arrival, about the courage it takes to enter a world that will eventually ask you to forget where you came from. And maybe, if we're lucky enough, to remember again. Not by going back, but by being and integrating both. the innocence and the cost, the face and the grave, the presence we were and the people we became. I don't think this is a belief. I think it's a noticing, a quiet observation of recognition. That life comes in undefended and spends years learning how to stay. That's all I wanted to share today, just a gentle reflection on infancy and presence and why certain songs know exactly where to touch. Merry Christmas.